So today we will see the concept of file system in module 4. So file system is all about how you organize your data in a system. Okay, so some order you are trying to maintain for storing all your files and directories. So we normally call the directories as folders. Okay, so there are certain basic concepts which we will be learning. The first one is about file. It is a collection of related data which you store in a secondary device. Okay, and there are certain types of files we normally store in a device, like a image file, a binary file, a text file, something like that. Okay, and every file will be having certain attributes, like every file will be having a name, and every file will be having certain permissions. Every file will be having a type in it, size of that file, location where it is actually stored. So all these are certain important concepts which come across in a file. So whenever we apply permissions for a file, so the permissions can be a read permission for a file, it can be a write permission, or it can be an execute permission. Okay, so like that we can provide permissions for each and every file which we create in our system. There are certain basic operations which we normally perform on a file, like we create a file, right? We try to write some content to the file, we try to read the contents which are present in our file, and we try to read certain part in your file by making the read write pointer to move. So that is called as repositioning the read write pointer within a file. And we normally delete files, and truncating of the file. Truncating means erasing the contents of the file. So these are some of the basic operations which we perform on a file which we create in our system. So here are certain types of the files which are listed over here, like executable file whose extension is .exe. Similarly, we have certain other set of files types are there, you can observe. So text file, batch file, and the respective extensions which we can able to see. So all these type of files we normally see in our computer systems. So the next concept is about accessing these files which are there in our system. So there are different access methods are available. So the very first one is sequential accessing of a file. So sequential accessing means you have a group of files, so where which are stored in your secondary storage device. Sequential accessing means you are trying to access the data in certain order. Okay, that is called a sequential access. So from starting to end you are reading the contents of the file, and you try to do certain operations like a read operation or a write operation. So another type of accessing which we normally perform on a file is called a direct access. Now direct access means here you will be having a read write pointer. You are trying to move that read write pointer to the exact location or a exact data in your file. Okay, so that is called as direct accessing of the file. So the last one is indexed accessing, which is coming under other accessing methods. So index accessing means, so you will be having two files maintained in your system. One is called index file, second one is called relative file. Now in index file you will be containing all the names of your files, okay, and their numbers are maintained in the index file, or we can say it as locations, we call them as record numbers. Okay, and relative file contains details of each and every file which you see in an index file. Okay, so this is an index file where you can see there are files like Adam is the name of one file, George is the name of one file, Steve is the name of one file, and their record numbers is shown through a link. Okay, so you can see there is an arrow mark from file Steve which is indicating to a relative file, so which is showing that the details of that particular file, say first name, last name, his age, his social security number, etc., like that. So such type of accessing is called as relative accessing, or we call it as indexed based accessing.